Hello darlings, welcome back to my channel. My name is Coralie and today we are reviewing the Gloomy Gardens eyeshadow palette by Dieverune. I still don't know how to say it. I really need to look it up, but here we are. This is an indie makeup brand owned by M. Jones. I forgot the number of her app, but I'll put her tag on the screen and I'll, link her socials in the description box. So if you guys are curious about that, look at this beautiful packaging. Okay, so this is what the palette looks like. Let's get into the review. I bought this eyeshadow palette with my own money. It was not sent to me. I don't have codes. I don't have any of that stuff. I would say my bias is very little. I am neutrals with M. Jones on Instagram, but I don't think I have a lot of bias regarding this. You can interpret that as you will. The brand came out with this palette, I believe 3 sets of cake liners, of like duo cake liners, and some loose pigments. I only got the palette because I feel like that was what's of more interest to me. You guys know me, I love reviewing and talking about eyeshadows, so this was definitely more my realm, I would say. This palette retails for $91 Canadian. That is a certain price. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it's not a cheap palette. It has 15 shades, you get 10 mattes and 5 shimmers in there. Some of these shimmers have specialties, and so you will see that in the in-depth shimmer swatches. I will describe each and every single one of them to you, so do not worry. Other thing that could make this palette more expensive, these are magnetic pans, so let me like remove the palette to show you. For example, this is the green shade and it has the label on the back. This is the somber succulent shade, right? And so all these shades are labeled, so you can take them out of the palette, play with them, build your own palettes. You can also build palette color stories with this eyeshadow kind of shell. Because it's magnetic, it will fit 26mm pans. So I will say this is super fun. I feel like a lot of people in the indie beauty space love to be able to build their own palettes and kind of switch around singles, add more, remove, some people like more mattes, more shimmers, I personally don't deconstruct my palettes ever, but I do love the fact that you have this option, and so the magnetism of it all can make the palette more expensive. One other thing I really like is how thin it is. I think we need to be conscious that packaging does not have to be excessive for it to be good, and so I really appreciate when a brand delivers something of this thinness. You just get that cute little Gloomy Gardens logo. I just really like that, and I hope more brands get into the habit of not making things so thick and bulky. I'm talking to you, please. Anyways, I did have to pay customs when I got this palette because it is what it is. So I will say I would love to see them go into like retailers, like maybe I Feel Beautiful Canada or like Monolith Shop, I think, for the European countries, but I know they're a newer brand, so all in time, they'll figure it out, okay? Let's talk about the formula. So let's first start with the mattes. I'll include some of the swatches, of the mattes and everything on the screen so you guys can see, but yeah. Let's talk about the mattes. These mattes, first of all, the shades are definitely more muted. I would say the 2 bright shades are this deeper orange right here and this teal right here. But other than that, it's very much muted tones in the palette, which for me, muted colorful tones are my neutrals, okay? This is like a neutral adjacent palette to me. I know it's not neutral when I look at it in fact, but it is neutral adjacent, which I do think is fitting because most people probably prefer something that is neutral adjacent like this. It's definitely an easier way to get into color. So if you're looking at indie makeup releases and you're like, Jesus, why are y'all putting bright neon yellow in palettes, which I love, but you might not. I think this is one of the good palettes that you could get to introduce yourself to color. This formula, you guys, is incredible. The mattes formula, this is a newer brand, and it's not that I have lower expectations when it comes to newer brands, but you want to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're still trying to figure out certain things, but this matte formula, when I tell you, it is insane. It is insane. These shades are very, very smooth, easy to pick up. They do have a little bit of kickback, which I don't mind because that makes them easy to pick up, but they blend so easily. Like when I was doing my work looks, because for this video, you guys, I have 3 full look tutorials. Be proud of me. Thank you. It took me so much time, but I made it. I did 2 work looks with this, and my work looks have to be done in 30 minutes. Eyes, face, lips, everything has to be done under 30 minutes. Whereas when I sit there, doing my eyes only takes me approximately 30 minutes. You know what I mean? So having something that can blend really quickly is important, especially when, you know, if you need to do your makeup quickly in the morning, you're not sitting there for 2 hours blending with a tiny brush. So that's why I also love doing work looks with these palettes, because you can really easily tell which ones have ease of blend, ease of ease of use. What? The mattes blend in seconds, but they don't blend away, which I think is really important. So I really appreciate the formula of these mattes. They're super easy to use. I feel like beginners would have such an easy time with this palette. And so on that, I have to say, I am floored. Like, wow. Beautiful matte formula. The shimmers are very shiny, super shiny, super reflective. They have a very high impact, which I love. I love high impact shimmers. I love high impact anything, to be honest, but it's just really fun to see shimmers that have so much impact. They have really interesting bases with like slight shifts, which again I will describe in the little shots after this, but it's just so fun, so interesting, so exciting to see a new brand get it so right the first time, which is why I am a huge fan of this. They are on the creamier side, but they don't crease on me. I wore them for twice 12 hours when I went to work-ish, let's say 11 to 12 hours, and I didn't experience any creasing, which I don't really usually experience creasing, but it's always good to know, you know, test some new things out. They are definitely easier to pick up with a finger, I will say. Picking them up with a brush is not always the easiest thing. I prefer picking them up with my fingers to smooth it out. So, you know, that's a good thing to know. If you really don't like using your fingers, maybe this shimmer formula is not necessarily for you. Let's go back to Color Story. I started on Color Story, then I kind of left the Color Story discussion. I really appreciate this palette for giving us this dark deep gray, giving us this dark shade. I wish one of those 2 had been darker. That's my one, I would say, Color Story complaint. I wish one of these 2 had been darker, because I feel like that would have added even more options. But honestly, if you need to deepen something up, you can just go in with the dark gray, and like that works fabulously. I did it today and it was stunning. So, you know, color stories are super personal, so like some of us might want something that others don't want. This was made in the image of the owner who designed it, so obviously like she chose what she thought was best, and I do think this is a very well-rounded eyeshadow palette. Let's get into the swatches, the shimmer swatches and descriptions, and then we'll jump directly into the 3 looks, 3 tutorials, y'all. The names of these shadows are so treacherous, my French-speaking self will simply put them on the screen. Let's get into it. So the first green shade has a nice warm green base with almost gold to greenish teal shifts, which you can't really see the teal in the video, but I swear it was there in real life. Next, we have this nice, almost like muted teal base with pink to gold shifty particles. Then the orange shimmer has a nice light tan base with a gold to icy blue shift. It's very wet looking on the eyelids. I really love the shade. Next, we have this nice warm muted pink purple base with gold to blue sparkles. Again, this is also one of the very wet looking shades in the palette. Finally, we have our multi-chrome iridescent shade, which is a translucent base with a pink to orange to gold to green shift. This is a beautiful shift. It's like stunning. You can use it on top of the other shimmer shades, on top of the mattes. It's really versatile. And so these are the shimmers. Good morning! First look using the Gloomy Gardens palette. I cannot wait. I'm actually going to work, so we need to be quick and efficient. So I use the Pley's Base Pro in the shade 2.5 on my eyes, which is closer to my skin tone. It's usually the base I like wearing whenever I'm going to work. We're gonna use the two grays right here. We're gonna use this blue shade, this shimmer, and this shimmer. So I'm just showing you this once because, you know, I need to be creek. I'm first gonna dip into that blue and I'm gonna put that right in my inner corner like so. I really like this shade. Taking the lighter gray shade, I'm gonna start blending that out into my outer corner like so. Interesting. Sorry for being so close to the mirror. I always realize how close I am to the mirror when I film, and I'm like, Jesus, girl, what was the reason? But I mean, the reason's good. It's because I need to see what I'm doing. This is beautiful. Okay. This is my first time using it ever. So far, the mattes I'm really enjoying. They're like nice and buildable, but they do have pigment upon like first application, which, you know, I generally do prefer. They're super easy to blend out, but I am using like some of the lighter shades. So, you know, the deepest shade we're going to take is the deepest shade in the palette. I would say it's a dark gray. It's not a black. It is a dark gray, but we're just going to start by applying. Okay, that's good. Applying this on the outer corner, slowly bringing it into the crease. Wow, that's very nice. I'm so glad I decided to buy this palette. It's so beautiful. And I'm just gonna automatically blend out the lighter gray above just so that we don't lose sight of what's important. Ah, that's done, you guys. That's very beautiful. You know how you have to find that one thing that helps you get up in the morning? For me, it's makeup. Like, sometimes I really don't want to go to work and everything, but then I do my makeup so good, I'm like, people need to see me. I'm just re-intensifying the blue because I just don't want it to get lost. I'm not going to use any glitter primer, but I'm going to take the shimmer shade from the blue row and I'm going to pat... Okay, sorry. I'm going to pat that like right on the lid. Oh my god. And I love that it's like it works with the shades that I put, but it's like this additional oomph. M. Jones, you are a genius. What, girl? This is insane. And then I'm going to take that light iridescent shade from the gray row on a little brush and just start putting that right in the inner corner. And obviously I'm going to put that in my inner corner after I'm done with my base, but you know, for now we're just going to put it right here. Incredible. I'll include some fun little shots of the final look, but yeah, first look done. Good morning. This is our second look using the Gloomy Gardens palette. So sorry for my voice. I literally woke up 30 minutes ago. It's 6:30 right now, so I'm a little bit sleepy. Today we're going to use mainly this shade, these two shades right here, this one, and this inner corner shade. To prime, I use the very classic Pley's Base Pro. This one is in the shade 2.5. On an e.l.f. tapered blending brush, I'm going to take that muted burgundy, purple-y shade, and we're going to pat that on the outer corner and a little bit on the crease. Best tip with dark shadows, especially in the morning, start blending them out. Don't wait till you add your other shade, because then the blending work does become a little bit more fastidious. Girl, I don't know if that's the right use of that word. Anyways, taking another small brush from e.l.f., I'm gonna go into the orange, the darkest one, and I'm gonna start buffing that right above that like purple burgundy. I really like this. These, you guys, they blend really easily. Then I'm gonna start with that orange and just start packing it right here, almost to the inner corner. Not yet, okay? For my two uses, I can say this is a great palette if you need to do, you know, makeup looks quickly, because I just find that the ease of blending is, you know, really convenient if you're ever kind of in a hurry, or I don't know, maybe you're like me and just you need to do work makeup quickly, because otherwise it's like, what do we do now? Then on a very big fluffy brush, Morphe M441,
I'm gonna grab that lightest orange and I'm just gonna buff that from the inner corner all the way on the edges of the eyeshadow. Like, this so far has only taken me 4 minutes and 35 seconds. That's crazy, you guys. But yeah, this is a great shade to just, you know, soften edges and stuff. Okay, stunning. I'm gonna go into the shimmer from the Purple Burgundy Row, and I'm just gonna pat that on this outer corner moment, like so. It has like a purple-ish base, but the shimmers are like almost wet looking. It's like gold to blue. Anyways, I'll have a, you know, very descriptive swatches of these shimmers, but yeah, I just want to add this, you know, a little decorations. And then we're gonna take the orange, which oh wow, I have to say the formula of this palette is impeccable so far. Oh my god, I feel like I'm shining from space. This is amazing. And this is no shadow primer, which I think is very, very impressive. When I'll be done with my base, I'll take that light iridescent and put it in my corner, and I'll give you the eye shadow like shots.
Welcome to look 3. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay, we're gonna prime using the Pley's base in the shade 2. This is the lighter of my 2 bases. If you're familiar with my videos, then you know that I usually use the lighter base when I want something more dramatic. You know, I want a little bit more contrast. So that's exactly what I wanted for today. So we're gonna do this look on this eye. If you see the camera is a little bit different, it's because I'm filming with my camera, whereas during the week I was filming with my phone. It was just easier to set it up like that, so that's why we're doing it. Sorry for the inconsistencies. First shade we're gonna go in is this nice little olivey murky green. I love shades like these, and I feel like a lot of people love shades like these. Let's take that beautiful murky green and just pat that in the inner corner, and we're just gonna really blend that out. Okay, blend that out in the inner corner like so. Then I'm gonna take this shade, which is almost like a more murky minty version, and I'm gonna take that on a smaller brush and pack that right in here. So right beneath that pale murky green. Let's take this bright turquoise. It's very bright. I think this is the brightest shade in the palette, but it just works really well with the rest of the eyeshadow palette, so worry not, it will work. Then I'm going to slowly start buffing it into the previous shades and up. Then I'm going to grab this muted purple, and with the remaining I'm going to start pulling it out almost in a pointy shape. Next, we're going to take this deep gray right here, and I'm going to put that on my outer corner. I'm going to start packing it like so, almost like a wing in the very inner crease. And we're going to blend it out. Next, I'm going to create a half cut crease using the very same Pley's base. I'm not going to clean up because we're going to use a shimmer, and I just don't feel like it requires that much precision when you're just using like an opaque shimmer, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna take my Pley's base on a brush also by them, which is the 7071. It's pretty big, but it's okay, we're gonna use that. Next, we're gonna take this lighter gray right here, and we're gonna blend where we have our crease, so like so. Just blending that in a little bit. It's gonna look a lot better. Then I'm going to take this beautiful shimmer right here, this bright green, and I'm going to take it first with my finger, pat that onto the lid, and then we're going to use a brush just to get into the harder to reach areas. That is beautiful. And for the inner corner, we're going to use this iridescent shade right here. And this one I'm just going to take on the brush. We're not going to completely overlap it. We're just going to go a little bit like over, but not too much. I'm going to do the rest of my face, and I'll be back with some little eye shots. And this is the makeup look I'm wearing in the video, so you've already seen it. these were the looks, guys. I hope you enjoyed them. If you have any questions regarding the eyeshadow palette, the formula, the shipping experience, if you have any questions, things that I didn't really talk about, make sure to ask them in the comment section. I will answer them to the best of my abilities. If you want to see some like comparisons to shades, maybe that single shades that I have, I don't have a lot of singles, but if you have a single in mind, you can always ask me. I'll try to do that on my Instagram, and obviously I'll, you know, tell you when I do it. But I think this is it for this palette. I think this is it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. So excited about this palette. I'm so excited to use it more, and I will see you guys in my next one. Goodbye.